Big man, I was sweating out the Jamal Murray most points scored with you last night. Like, I didn't have the bet, but I was like rooting for you watching the game as all that went down, and you nearly got it for a big plus money win. I do wonder though, like I fall into the trap of like being peer pressured into a bet. If like my friends like it, if you like it, if other guests on the show like something that I don't, I'll be like, well, if they like it, I should dive into it. You've always, been able to kind of be your own man, make your own picks. Is that difficult with all those voices in there? And you all kind of want to be on the same team, right? Rooting for the same thing. So, how about that part of it?
Yeah, I think going forward, it's definitely tough. You don't want to be on, you don't want to be that one guy that just goes the other way. But,
yeah.
I think for me, I think going forward, I mean, I'm going to be a lot more boisterous and voicing, what I like and what I'm on. I think for me in that house, what's great is there's such great live options on that sports book where you can get in on things. And, I kind of am slightly irritated that I wasn't a little bit more boisterous late in the day. I mean, after 12 hours or so, you start to get a little tired. I mean, I was up really early, but, I actually like some of the live overs in that Sunday night game. I just thought the quarterback play was really good. And I just, it wasn't a field goal type of game. It was touchdowns or nothing. And, I actually hit the over a couple times live. So, I think as we kind of get going and when you are not around for 6 or so months, you just kind of come in and you're the new person there. You don't want to say too much. You don't want to be too quiet. Yeah, it's definitely tough. But there's also things like, people will bring stuff up that you don't necessarily see or maybe you miss. You got to realize, Clip, in that house, there are 6 TVs going at the same time, and one of the TVs has Red Zone on. So, as you know, with Red Zone, it's behind a little bit. So you'll look at something, you'll say, "Oh, is that live?" Or like you have to kind of quickly decipher what TV is live and which one isn't. Plus, you have to you're live on a stream to thousands of people, so there's a lot going on.
Head on a swivel, but it was awesome to see the BMOC with the Barstool guys on Sunday. Jeff, real quick, recapping Sunday, you're right. Last night was an absolute classic between Russ and Cam Newton. That was a lot of fun. The NFC East, I think the Cowboys, after that stupid win they had yesterday, they need like 7 more wins to clinch the division. It is ugly. I knew Washington's offense had nothing. They were pitiful yesterday. The Giants, that no Saquon now. They're pretty much done. And your Eagles, Jeff, I know you had some issues with them offensively last week. Their defense looked awful yesterday against the Rams. I mean, it's the Cowboys to win, and I don't know, unless the Eagles wake up, this could be a runaway in the NFC East.
Yeah, look, that's one thing as well. Like, I'm kind of at my wit's end with the Eagles just because it's not working. And if you call Carson Wentz out, I think all of a sudden now though in this city, it's funny. I was listening late night to one of the radio stations up here, and I mean the callers, even the hosts. I mean it was some really negative Carson Wentz stuff, and that's something you haven't really heard up until last night. We're starting to see that Carson Wentz has issues. He has issues that continue to be chronic. He doesn't get rid of the ball. He throws poor interceptions. We're also, Clip, as I've said many times, and this is an issue with this team and the Philadelphia 76ers, a lot of the situations that we see on these teams have arisen because they are poor in the NFL and NBA drafts. In the NFL particularly, this team has constantly failed in the draft at important points. You look at perfectly last night, this team took J.J. Arcega-Whiteside over DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin. I mean, this is things that you just can't do, and you constantly, year after year, have these guys on the Eagles that wouldn't be on a team anywhere else, yet not only did we have a first-round pick spent on them, but we continue to play them. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside shouldn't get the field right now because, but again, Alshon Jeffrey's injured, so you kind of have to go to things. It's not a surprise that they're 0-2 to me, just because with such limited time before the season to get prepared, outside of Deshaun Jackson, you just don't have a veteran receiver on this team. Zach Ertz is still whining about his contract. The offensive line's been problematic. And defensive yesterday, they were horrific.
Guys wide open for the Rams all day, as you commented several times on that stream yesterday. Talking to Jeff Nadeau on the Fixed NC Live line. Big man, let's talk about tonight. Monday Night Football. You can hear it right here on Pirate Radio. Saints at Raiders. Raiders open up their brand new stadium with nobody there in Las Vegas, and the Saints are 4-point road favorites, total at 48.5. Big man, you like anything coming up tonight?
Yeah, it's funny you said that they're opening up their stadium and nobody's there. It's kind of rough, man. Like, you want to open a stadium and it be a great kind of return. Kind of sucks. That's a beautiful place. I actually was out in Vegas when they were just starting getting that done. It looks like a really great place. I'm looking forward to seeing it with people in it. But this is a game for me as a gambler that I think sometimes with the Monday night, you kind of forget about it. There's so much with Sunday and Sunday night that you kind of sometimes miss a number. And, look, I got to tell you, I've talked kind of a long time about betting bad numbers in the NFL. I think that's the one issue amateur gamblers make is they're just okay with betting a bad number. And I'm not willing to do that. You could have got the Raiders at one point at 7, even 6.5. If you're betting them at +4, I think you need to find a new hobby, or you need to be better at what you're doing, because you can't win in this business if you continue to bet bad numbers. You've got to go out and be proactive and find the best number or even a better number. I do like the Raiders, though. I think they're better suited in this game without Michael Thomas. I mean, if you look back to the game last week, Clip, the New Orleans Saints didn't play real well offensively. They just lucked out with some timely turnovers and a big special teams player too. When you look at their yards per play, I believe it was top 3 lowest in the league last week. Now that could change, but this is a road game. We know how good, with or without fans, the Saints are at home, and you're not going to have Michael Thomas. But I'm looking at the Raiders and saying, well, Henry Ruggs might not play, and without Henry Ruggs, there's not a lot to get excited about from a skill position standpoint outside of Josh Jacobs. You're also possibly going to be without Trent Brown, your right tackle, which is a big concern. Coupling that with the bad number and stuff, it's probably a game I'm going to look to avoid, and all in all avoid. I think a teaser could be interesting here. Maybe getting the Raiders up to 10-ish or 10.5.
And then go over with it? If you go teaser, you go over or under? Because it would take you to about 42 or 54, something like that.
Yeah, I feel like in that situation, if I can get this down under the 42, I'd probably look over the number. But when it comes to teasers in the NFL, I'm more a fan of grabbing two sides.
Yeah.
Even sometimes, Clip, there will be situations where some spots will let you bet both sides, and you're teasing, let's say, the Raiders up to 10, and I just don't really like to tease past 0, so I wouldn't obviously do that here. But, I don't know. This is a tough game. I wish it would have been a little more proactive, and the injury news is concerning because, as I've said before with you and with others, if your offensive line has issues, it can make or break your team. So with Trent Brown may or may not play. If both those guys play, I'll be maybe looking live to get on the Raiders at some point.
Jeff, let's talk a little ECU football for the first time in a long time, because the Pirates will finally take the field coming up this weekend against UCF. And I'm looking at it now. I'm seeing a 27 number beside UCF. It was, 23, 24, and I'm seeing 27 now for the Knights as favorites over the Pirates. The Knights coming off a pretty easy win against Georgia Tech. It almost seemed like, Jeff, that all right, they got down 7-0 to the Yellow Jackets. They had a little pressure on them. They went right down and scored, took a lead, and then Georgia Tech would kind of get back in it. It was almost like UCF could score when they wanted to with Dylan Gabriel. I'm very concerned that they're going to come to town and put up a lot of points. But, man, that's a pretty big number at 27.
Yeah, it is a big number. Sometimes, though, you have a little bit too big a number, a little ostentatious with maybe how good they played. But look, UCF is really good. I mean, they diced a pretty good Georgia Tech team up. Dylan Gabriel, as you said, was terrific. Marlon Williams had a huge day at the receiver position. I got to be honest, Clip, 72.5. It's high, but I don't mean to be, I always come on here and give you it straight. I don't ever try to sugarcoat stuff. I think ECU probably gives up 50 in this game. I mean, if Georgia Tech's going to give up 49, this seems to me like a 51-27 type of game.
Well, I was going to be glass half full, Jeff, and say ECU will help towards that over, because I do think they'll score, like you said, in the 20s, 27, maybe 30. Yeah.
Oh, they surely will.
Yeah.
They surely will. This is going to be a game, I think, where there's going to be a lot of a garbage time at the end where, I think, again, my issue when I talked about ECU way back was the offensive and defensive lines. I'm willing to think the offensive line can hold up enough here. I love Holton Ahlers. I've been a big fan of his. I think with a competent offensive line and with C.J. Johnson, Prohl, Zach Bird, Lewis, I think this is a group that can move the football. I think even at 51-24 is going to get a job done here. So, I think 72 is high, but I think this kind of could be a similar game to what we saw with SMU North Texas. Now, I don't think UCF will put up 65 here, but could it be a 52-30 type of game? Yeah, right. I think so.
Jeff Nadeau joining us. Jeff, the SEC kicking off this weekend, and there's a lot of high spreads, probably going to be a lot of blowouts. I guess Tennessee, South Carolina is a field goal game, at least the spread is. That might be interesting. Kentucky, Auburn, I'm interested in, too. Kentucky, a 7-point dog at Auburn. Have you looked at any of the big boys, quote-unquote, playing this week? You see anything you like?
Well, I'm still going through it, but one game that I am squaring in on is Texas and Texas Tech. One thing we've always known about Tom Herman is he is not a good coach laying points. However, in this game, I'm interested in seeing where this line goes. I think if it can drop below 17, I'm going to have some interest here. First things first, biggest failures from a coordinator, Bielinger. I think they're going to score points. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Matt Wells era has not started out real well at Texas Tech. There's a lot of concerns down there. People already turning on the guy. They were horrific against Houston Baptist. I actually had that game a couple of weeks ago. Houston Baptist, look, is a good offensive team, but, Clip, Bailey zapped the quarterback at Houston Baptist, put up almost 600 passing yards in that game. He had 4 touchdowns. I don't think that bodes real well for Texas Tech here. I think a lot of people are going to just assume Texas, bad favorite team. I don't want to lay points on the road, but I think Texas is considerably better than Texas Tech. I'll also be looking at an over here. I think this is a higher scoring game as well. I'm not real confident, though, in Texas Tech's quarterback. They've been a little bit more run-heavy this season so far, so we'll see. But that's a game I have my eye on. The SEC, I'm still kind of looking through. But I had a good college Saturday. I was really efficient, so I look forward to keeping that going this week with a bigger card. It's time.
Well, we'll talk more about the college football slate coming up on Thursday. Also, week 3 of the NFL with the BMOC. Jeff also has, I think, a Miami Heat future still out there too, right, Jeff? They're up 2-1 in the series. They finally lost the game against the Celtics the other night. Don't play again until Wednesday, but you still got that ticket sitting out there too, right?
Yeah, I had the Celtics first half the other night. I thought it was one of the easier bets in the playoffs. Just a good spot for them to bounce back. But yeah, I do 20-1. Rooting it in. Hopefully, we get a win this week and then kind of get closer to that. But I'm already, Clip. As you know, I'm always looking at college hoops. College hoops is 65 days away, so we're not far away.
I saw you doing a Q&A earlier today on Twitter.
I was.
Yeah.
I was. I'm very high on certain teams this year. I can't wait. Especially after getting cut short last year. It seems as if college basketball has their trajectory of they're preparing, they're getting ready to go, and I'm looking forward to it. If we can get anything that has competent basketball, the other sports have done a pretty nice job. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm all in right now.
And it's going to start with a bang, Jeff. I know ECU, for example, is in one of those tournaments that starts on the 26th, and there's going to be basketball on all day, and there's going to be, I don't know how many of those tournaments going on. So it's good. That Thanksgiving week, it's not going to be the entire feast week, but that Wednesday when it starts, it's going to take off, and there's going to be a ton of games going on.
No, you're exactly right, and that's the great thing about college basketball. You have to kind of sift through, but as you said, there's going to be a lot of stuff to get involved with. And just real quick, I know we're cutting short on time, but I love Joe Dooley. I've told you that many times.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his. You have Jaden Gardner coming back. Tristan Newton. And I said to you, Noah Farrakhan is a terrific player. New Jersey kid, went to the Patrick School. I'm pretty high on ECU. I think they're going to have a nice resurgent year, and I think they're going to be a team that will win some of the games they lost last year.
Last year, it was Jaden Gardner and an entire new team around him. This year, everybody's back, Jeff, so that is reason for optimism, and another year in Newton is a good thing. And then that freshman class, I think Dooley's doing a great job recruiting, so I'm excited about it. We'll see what happens and talk more hoops with the big man when he joins us here on Pirate Radio Live. Jeff, what's coming up with Barstool? You're going to be back in the house this weekend?
Yeah, as far as I know, we'll have a stream Sunday. That could change. As I said, it's going to really ramp up, here as we continue into the NFL, college hoops.
Yeah.
I'll kind of be a mainstay. Hope to get blogging this week. I'm going to start putting out my soccer and everything I'm betting and that kind of thing so you can follow along. And once I get all that stuff set up and ready to go, I will let you know.
The big man, never too big for Pirate Radio and the Greenville fans. So we appreciate it, Jeff. We'll talk to you again later this week, man.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
The big man on campus, Jeff Nadeau, joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. And, he likes the over. And ECU, UCF should be a lot of points on the board. Not so sure about Monday Night Football tonight, as could go either way between the Raiders and the Saints. We'll talk to the big man again on Thursday. We got to make a pick coming up later on in this hour with Ronnie Woodward as our American Survivor Pool rolls on. I had UCF last week. Easy winner, as I told you it would be. Ronnie had Navy last week. Easy winner, never in doubt. Navy comes back to knock off Tulane. Igo had Cincinnati, so we're all still alive for another week of AAC Survivor. So we'll make our picks when we return. We'll talk to Ronnie Woodward about ECU and UCF when we roll on Pirate Radio Live. We're back with you after this.
Love Jersey Mike subs? Love them times 12 with our new catering box. Packed full of a dozen individually wrapped subs. They're yours for the sharing. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. Tired of cooking at home? Change it up without getting up. Just order Jersey Mike's through our app for no contact delivery or no contact at the door pickup. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
This is Martin Truex Jr., and off the track, I have an Auto Owners Independent Agent. They handle all my insurance in one place: car, home, life, and business. Get your own pit crew and find a local agency with Auto Owners Insurance.
This is Norm Bryant with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates.
Let's turn a trip to the branch into a tap on your phone. Let's hit pause on a lost debit card without hitting pause on life. That's how First National Bank is redefining convenience with a top-rated mobile app that puts more security and control at your fingertips and friendly people to help you succeed right by your side. Let's get started at fnb-online.com or your local First National Bank. FNB member FDIC.
2020 certainly hasn't been the year many of us were hoping for, but one thing has stayed the same. I'm Tim Sutton with Greenville Auto World, and our commitment to our customers has never wavered. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Your vehicle is a big investment, and our customers trust us to keep them up and running with outstanding service and value. We're Greenville Auto World, cross from Hardee's at Bells Fork.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and welcome inside the booth. A tip of the cap to the NBA. I'll have some thoughts next.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. For starters, they love a nice, cold Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's delicious, it's refreshing, and it has zero sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. Because who decided beef shouldn't have a buddy? And the drink with their feast? Yeah. They have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. No compromises there. Oh, and when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. They're the kind of person jorts were made for. 50% jeans, 50% shorts, 100% the most comfortable thing that's ever graced your wardrobe. Not compromising never looked so good. So crack open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and taste what it's like to have it all. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar done right. That's what I like.
You have to give a big tip of the cap to the NBA. They have made the bubble in Orlando work. The other pro sports leagues and college athletics have all taken note, calling the NBA for advice. The NHL with 2 bubbles has done a good job too. I was skeptical at first if the NBA could pull it off. Give credit to Commissioner Adam Silver and his staff. Silver is the best commissioner in professional sports. He has a great relationship with the players. He knows it's a players' league. He learned a lot from the late David Stern, who took the NBA to another level. So in this critical time, his leadership based on his experiences and his personal demeanor, plus the respect the players have for him, and you see why the NBA has made the bubble work. Give a lot of credit to the players, too. They've had the discipline to stay in the bubble. Everybody in the NBA gets an A+. Come on back again next time, and we'll visit Inside the Booth.
Pirate radio sounds different.
Different is good. You are all the same. You'll be ashamed.
Because different is good.
Oh, yeah.
Pirate radio.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by The Man Cave, Greenville's newest premier destination for professional manicures, pedicures, and hair services for